Alright, it's time for Team Battle Sejuani. It's a highly requested game, and everybody seems to love her. They don't pick her, but she won. And everybody's been, a little bit hyped up because of AP Sejuani mid. So, Sejuani. Fun fact, Sejuani games I upload tend to not be viewed by a lot of people, but they have the most recidivism. That means that the people who do watch it are watching it all the way through. I'm pretty much picturing right now these people, with Sejuani posters, Sejuani dolls, all over, just like looking at the team battles, going, "Oh, that's my girl," eating their popcorn and rubbing their nipples. So yeah, they're pretty diehard fans. We're the few people who watch the Sejuani game, so I guess this is gonna please them. So first things first, why the hell do I fucking not like Sejuani's state right now? Because they nerfed Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Right now, Spirit Stone is a billion times better than Quill Coat on a lot of champions. In fact, Sejuani much prefers Spirit Stone over the Quill Coat. The Quill Coat is mostly designed to prevent a jungle tank from getting his ass whipped, right? So it does, like the whole sustain thing. It's pure bullshit. The Spirit Stone has as much, if not more, sustain than the Quill Coat on a lot of tank champions. Sejuani, Zac, and them, they prefer the Spirit Stone, even if Zac wastes the mana regen on it or whatever. So Quill Coat, what's it exactly useful for? Quill Coat's use is mostly on if you get your ass whipped, you don't negative snowball. Think of it this way: Spirit Stone will deal more damage and give you more sustain if you are, keeping up in levels and ranks and everything. If you get counter jungled, at least the Quill Coat's damage will remain the same throughout, as long as as long as you don't personally die when you clear. The minions will take about the same amount of damage regardless. So it's used mostly as a security measure. But of course, you don't always get your ass kicked in the jungle, even as Sejuani. So it's mostly like a very wasted effort from the Quill Coat. By the way, I'm interrupting myself because this is actually pretty cool. Sejuani, not Sejuani, literally how she dodges everything. We kill her, but that was a pretty cool attempt of escaping. Nonetheless, as I was saying, Quill Coat's fucking worthless. So in this case, I'm building Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. It's just to give myself the sustain and everything. And mostly because I got a few kills early. I'm building AP Sejuani, not the tanky Sejuani I normally would go. Mostly because, again, like I said, I'm pretty fed, and the damage AP Sejuani does is glorious. I forgot who's the one who does AP Sejuani mid and shields Deathfire Grasp, but in the jungle you can't really do that, so you gotta improvise. Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, Abyssal Scepter, that kind of stuff. If you get super fed, you can emulate the mid lane Sejuani build, but in the jungle, remember, you're working on a budget. You gotta go with what you have. So Sejuani, is she good or is she bad? See, if you want to look at her, if you want to state of why if she's good or bad, you have to look at the history of Sejuani. Since she was released, she's always been in a weird spot. She has had the highest fucking damage of all jungle tanks in the game when she was out, but that was potential damage, not actual damage. Though, whatever, it is actual damage, but just the potential to use that damage was very low. See, the problem with Sejuani is, despite the fact that she had a lot of damage, it was very hard to actually use that damage. It's like having a gigantic-ass death ray. Sure, it will destroy planets and shit, but if you don't have the batteries to fire it, then what's the point of having a death ray? Threaten governments to give you $1 billion? Probably, but if you can't fire it and they call you on the bluff, then you can't do anything. That was Sejuani's problem. She has the power, she just couldn't use it. So Riot decided to change her up. This is where her rework comes into play. They decided to nerf her damage, but make it easier to do that damage. So Sejuani has a lot easier time dealing that damage, but it came at a cost of that uberly high damage she used to have. It's still fine. She had a lot of power still packed onto her, and thus she just annihilated people. Her utility was there, her damage was there, at least in a lesser form, but it was still higher than most of the jungle tanks, and she dominated the scene for a little while. Riot didn't like that, so they nerfed her. So right now her damage is still higher than other jungle tanks like Nautilus and even Zac and stuff, but the usability of it there is still a little bit hampered. They fixed some of the issues with the rework, but not entirely so. So she's pure melee. A lot of her damage is pure melee, and her usability issues are there. So, and they're not really enough to make up for that the damage she has. Like, yeah, she's higher damage than Zac and Amumu and such, but like, is it really worth having those problems, all of Sejuani's problems, in order to activate it? Usually not. Most people would rather use a Mumu or Zac who have more functionality and more synergy within their own kit. Or not really synergy, because Sejuani does have synergy, more usability with their kit in lieu of that little bit of damage. Sejuani, I can't see her working with many team comps either. Like, if you wanted her for an initiation team comp, you might as well go with a Mumu or, hell, even Zac. Because Zac's more for disruption team comps and full engage comps that way. So, moving on from that. Another one of Sejuani's biggest problems is her sustain. Riot has never fixed her sustain. When they gave her passive a shitty bit of armor, that didn't do anything. It's almost insulting how they did that. It's like, Riot really needs to give her some sort of health sustain or some form of shield or some crap. Or hell, the idea I have is, why not make it so her passive or any form of frost of hers makes it so jungle minions deal less damage to her, or have less attack speed, so they potentially will deal less damage to her that way. It's like, it doesn't affect lane minions, and nobody else is really benefiting from it except her. So why not just give her that? It's like, it will help her shitty ass sustain. She can jungle fast already. She wipes out small camps and whatever, and she can melt some objectives just because she does a lot of damage with her W and her E. But holy crap, just the jungle beats the shit out of her. It really hurt when they took down the 5 potions to the 4. She burns through most of it. It really hurt when she's forced to go to Quilco now if she wants Spirit of the Ancient Golem. So it's like, they nerfed her indirectly several times throughout the course of this year. They need to give her at least some sustain in the jungle. In ganking, she also suffers from her ganking. A lot of people do feel like, oh, she's strong pre-level 6, though I feel her ganking only gets good when it's at level 6. The thing is, she burns everything when she initiates a fight. That leaves her very open to counter ganking. Like, use your Q to initiate the thing, you apply the slow afterwards, and then you just start whacking the opponent. You've burned everything. In comes Lee Sin, and he kills you. Or anybody else, really. I mean, she's pretty good at counter ganking, but she still gets killed off in a lot of 2v2 skirmishes early. The problem is her cooldowns are unforgiving right now. It's like, if they fix her cooldowns, she could be a little bit too annoying and a little too strong. So I see the reasoning of not buffing that stuff up. But right now her cooldowns are unforgivable. Like, usually you see a lot of players pack cooldown reduction blues and quints and masteries onto her, so she has almost, I think, 35% cooldown reduction at the start of the game. They do, like, I do that a lot too, though in this case I went more AP over the cooldown reduction. And it's mostly so I can have my ultimate a lot up sooner and have the slow apply a lot more during the ganks. Right now, like, she has to pretty much farm up to level 6 in order to do a lot of things, to make plays and to win fights. Sejuani, I like her a lot. I like pretty much all the tanks in this game. I love being a tank and just seeing people and, starting fights and wrecking shit. Sejuani is, I like her because she's got that damage. She's got that amazing badass ultimate. But it still really hurts to clear with her and really hurts to get behind. She pretty much snowballs negatively worse than a lot of other jungle tanks. Like, damn. And even so, her initiation kind of sucks aside from her ultimate. If you throw your ultimate well and stun everybody, that's amazing. And if you sort of get one person and slow everybody else, your follow-up kind of sucks because you have to be in range for the E and, you go in with your Q and then you kind of have to wait for the cooldowns to be back. When you're more itemized, though, holy shit, your initiation becomes monstrous. You get to spam your E, you get to spam your Q, and you spam your W. So she's got a really shitty early game. She's got a really difficult mid game. And her late game is really good. And if you pack her up with a lot of cooldown reduction, you can help out her mid game and her early game at the cost of resistances and utility from, movement speed quits and such as that. So there are stuff that can be done to help her, but she's in a bad state. Like, Riot needs to give her the sustain and give her maybe a little bit more mobility, but definitely sustain. I hate the fucking Quill Quote with a passion. I hate that item on so many tanks. It failed, in my opinion. It helped, address some of the invasion problems, snowballing, negatively snowballing. But damn, I prefer Spirit Stone on a lot of my characters. Now here comes the sad part. Riot hasn't fixed spectator mode. If you watch Trick, you've probably seen this shit. I can't finish this game. It's done. It's dead. We won anyways. As you can see, we were winning already, and we were, you know, just one more team fight away from pure victory. But damn, you guys can't see that ending because the spectator mode doesn't work, and the slow replay couldn't record the last bit. Oh well, though. GG, though. Hooray for Sejuani. If you enjoyed the video and the commentary, make sure to give it a like. Yay.